What's the haps, pizza fam? Santa Barbara Baker here with another Chris Bianco inspired pizza. This time the Wiseguy from Pizzeria Bianco. It's a combination of fennel sausage, roasted onions, and smoked mozzarella. I actually haven't tried this one in the restaurant. I'm just giving it my best go with the information I have available because I've always loved the sound of it. For this one, we're going to start off with preheating our Unicaru 16 for at least 30 minutes. We're gone more like 45 here. I can see it's super hot. Reading almost 800 here out front. Check the deck inside. I know it's super hot right now. 917. So at this point, we're going to turn it down till the flame is just starting to creep across the oven deck. That'll give some time to let the oven deck temper out a bit and give us a nice bake. I have a dough ball of my noni dough I just popped out into a mix of semolina and flour. I'm going to start just by stretching it on the marble here. I always like to leave the center intact because you never get that back. We'll just start by opening up the dough ball here, hitting it with a little bit of flour on the bottom as we start to open it up. You can stretch your dough completely here on your work surface. I'm working on a piece of marble here. Wood is good as well. I'm gonna actually move this one to a wooden cutting pill to build and load it. You can see here I picked it up, starting to open up the dough ball a little bit more and pop it back down here. This is looking a little understretched, which is what we want here before we pop it on to our wooden peel, which we're gonna build and load from, because when you pick it up here, it'll stretch even a little more. If it's feeling a little sticky, you can pop it upside down again, hit it with a little flour on the base of the pizza, flip it back over there, getting any excess off, and then right onto our board here. One little final stretch here. Nice. This will be a nice size, about a 12 to 13 inch pizza here, looking really nice. My dough is stretched and ready to go. Let's start building this Wiseguy inspired pizza. I'm going to start with the smoked mozzarella. I was looking at Pizzeria Bianco at the photos. It looks like he's using more of like a fresh mozzarella that's been lightly smoked. I have an aged mozzarella here, so something a little different. I noticed with these aged smoked mozzarellas, they're oftentimes really smoky. So I would tread lightly. You know, I don't know how much of that smoke flavor you guys like, but I like just the right amount of kiss of that smoke. You know, you don't want to feel like you're eating an ashtray of a pizza. I have about 2 ounces here of the smoked mozz. I'm gonna put that on. And also to add to the creaminess, like I was saying, I think there at Pizzeria Bianco, it's a little bit of a fresher style mozz. So I do have some fresh mozz here that I'm gonna hit it with as well. I think that'll add a nice little creamy component and a nice counter to the super smoky aged mozz. Roasted onions. At the restaurant, they use white onions, but I found some really beautiful red onions, super small ones from the farmer's market that I roasted up in the Karu 16. You just put them in there with the skins on. That's the way to go. And they come out super sweet like this. So I just peeled them, taking off all the super like charred burnt parts, which is just the outside. That looks really good. Quite a bit of cheese on here. I think this is a cheesy pie overall. And then our sausage, for this one, I usually like to go raw with the sausage, let it cook in the oven, but I noticed at the restaurant there, they do slices, it looks like more here. So this is some local fennel sausage that I have that I've kind of par cooked and sliced, you can see, and I'm just gonna lay on the fatty slices, as you see there. Chris Bianco's pies are definitely on the rustic side like this, with just some chunks kind of thrown on here like this in the best way. I really like the looks of all of the pizzas there. As you know, because you can see I'm always inspired by what's going on there. Okay, now the onions, I'm gonna go fat. They're just kind of tossed on here like this. This looks really good. Super simple pie. So you definitely want to use the best ingredients here. Get a local sausage, or even better, make it yourself. That looks really nice. Probably even more for sure than they do at the restaurant. Hit it with some salt and pepper. I always think that's a good idea on a pie like this. Look at this thing, looking beautiful. Super simple. I'm gonna get our camera turned around and we'll load it up. We have our Chris Bianco inspired Wiseguy pizza here, ready to load. Let's take a look at the oven temp one more time. As it's tempered out, you can see the little thermometer out here reading 531 and the inside 743, about perfect for what I like shooting for about 750 on the oven deck for a style of pizza like this. Give it one final shake, make sure it doesn't stick when we get it loaded up at the oven. Just set where the flame is rolling completely about over the deck, but at its lowest setting. I think that's a nice level of heat for the Uni Karu 16 because it wraps over the top of your pizza, allowing the cheese to melt all the way here at the front of the deck of the oven. All things that are really good. Let's see here, we'll wait for it to start puffing up, looking for some signs of browning before we go in for our first turn. I'm gonna grab my trusty turning peel and we'll be back here looking for our first turn. I'm seeing the cheese start to melt all the way out here in the front and some leoparding on the back. All really good signs that we're probably ready for our first turn here. I'm gonna go in with my turning peel, heat it up here just slightly so it doesn't shock the dough, and give this a little spin. First, freeing up the bottom, making sure it's not stuck, and giving it a nice little gentle turn here. It looks like our oven is plenty hot, getting a little bit of leopard spotting going there. You see that on the rim of the pizza there. So far, looking like a really nice bake here with the sausage already pre-cooked, or the kind of par cooked there. I did it probably about 60%. We're not gonna have to go for a super long bake, which is nice. Onions are already roasted, so they're super sweet. So we'll probably shoot here, I don't know, let's see, maybe on the 3-4 minute range. I think that's a really nice bake for the Uni Karu 16. Grab my rack here, which I'm gonna rest the pizza on after it's done. Just put it here ready for when it's ready to be pulled out. I think we're about ready here for another turn going in. Wow, look at that leoparding. The oven is looking pretty hot here. We might even want to turn it down a little bit, but look at that brownie. That looks really nice. This thing might even be finishing up pretty quick. Let's turn it down just a little bit here. I'm seeing a lot of browning going on the cheese, which we like, but we don't want to get it, or we don't want it too dark. You can see the pictures of the pizza at the restaurant. It stays nice and bright. We don't have to keep it OG here. I've never even tried this one, so how do I even know? But I'm trying to keep the vibe similar. And I think we're doing it. I think this thing is also finishing up here. I really like the coloring here, that golden brown. I think that'll be some nice malty flavors on the dough, which I always enjoy. I can feel here picking it up. Definitely that this is finishing up, and you always want to check that bottom there underneath. I picked it up, saw some leoparding, some browning, nice golden brown, all things we really like to see. I think this is home stretch for sure. Check the bottom again one more time. Little bit light there. For finishing it, I'm just going to turn the oven all the way down to at its lowest point. That's a nice thing on the Uni Karu 16. No shenanigans to get a low temp in here like some of the other ovens. You just turn it down to its normal low and you're good. All right, maybe one more spin here. You don't want to go too dark on this one. If you see the pizzas at Pizzeria Bianco, they're not super leopard spotted or super dark or anything like that. They're nice and golden with some darker spots. It looks like, it's always amazing pizza. And I think this one is done. Let's get it out. Take a look. I could tell, giving it one final spin, that the crust was looking nice and firm underneath for a no-flop pie. All right, let's get this thing out of here. I think it's looking done for sure. Check it out. Looks so beautiful with our roasted onions, the fennel sausage, some smoked mozz. Gonna put it onto the rack. We'll let it hang out for about a minute or so. Take it for a taste. Let's take a look at our Chris Bianco inspired Wiseguy pizza here with the roasted onions, fennel sausage, and smoked mozzarella. The bake on this one looks really good. I'm really stoked on that. Look at the bottom there. That looks really good to me. Maybe there's a little bubble that popped up or something. But look at the browning, really nice, cooked through all the way. And just nice colors here. That variation from dark to a little bit lighter, all looking really good. Had to let it hang on the rack here, let it set for a little bit. I could feel it coming out of the oven. We're definitely in no flop territory. But we'll see the moment of zen here as we get it onto our tray here. Slice it up. Can you guys see it? This looks like a beautiful pie overall. We'll see how it tastes. Like I said, I've never tried this one at the restaurant, so I don't really know what the OG flavor of this one is, but we're gonna, I think, enjoy a delicious pizza here regardless. Hear a little bit of crunch as I'm slicing it. Let's pick it up. One for the eight slices here. 6 might have been a better one on this one. Let's see here, the pickup. Loaded with that sausage. Oh, it's a little moist in there, dripping with cheese. Check that out, amazing. I feel like this thing's gonna annihilate my mouth, but let's get in it. I could just feel it, the vibe of those roasted onions with the fennel sausage. That's just a great thing going on. And with the smoked moss, that just adds a little punch of little smokiness that you're kind of feeling from the vibe of those roasted onions. I think that's an amazing combo. I need to get down to the restaurant and try this one. But I hope you guys enjoyed the vid. Love you all. One love.